Okay. Go to Discord here and I'm gonna send this here. Oh wow, I've got so many responses. Sorry, I was just quickly sending this message, which is the YouTube link, in case if you want to see it here, you can. But let me go back to the chat. So, okay, Mumbai, India, nice. Germany, Dubai, Bangalore. Hi, people from Bangalore. I need some help to, from whoever is in Bangalore, because we are doing our first ever developer event in Bangalore on 2nd of August. And if someone wants to volunteer and just come and hang in for a bit, please reach out to me on my DMs or send me an email. I'd be more than happy to give you an in. Jhansi, UP, joining from Nigeria, nice. Durgapur, India, West Bengal, nice. London, India, Aligarh, India. Wow, Aligarh is super close from here. I think so. Mumbai, Hyderabad, nice. Where else? Where else? We'll do this for one more minute. So, where are you all joining from? I've got so many responses already, and we've got like a quite inclusive bunch. Pranav is from Hyderabad. Deepak is from Gurgaon, India. Again, super close. Jay is from Boston. Nice. Jay, we're also planning to do something very soon in Boston. I'm going to reach out to you. Don't worry, by the way, we're also planning to do more events in Delhi soon, but we're doing like our nearest one is our closest one is in Bangalore on 2nd of August. We're also planning to do more. So this year's what do you say, geographical map is going to be something like this. We're going to do Bangalore, we're going to hit Mumbai, we're going to hit Delhi again in India, and then we're going to go to Zurich, which is in Switzerland. Then we're going to go to SF again, and then we're going to end it most probably in Boston. So that's how we are planning this out. So whoever is in Bangalore and is interested to join us for a meetup on 2nd of August, because we are planning to do something with drones, please reach out to me. I'm going to be more than happy to help you get a pass and just figure things out. Yes, Nitesh, I think we already discussed the collaboration, but it wasn't like working out super fine with us. So, because we're not like looking for a hackathon, and I remember you reached out for a hackathon. So, but if you are looking to do something like a meetup or a tech meetup, we can do that. Okay, that's it. We are already 5 minutes here, so this is just like a quick round for all of us to see where are we joining from, and where the usual bunch comes from. So, hi everyone, thank you so much for joining us today again for week 2 of Isards. 20 of you are here, and I think some of you are also on the YouTube stream, which means a whole like really a lot to us. Vittorio is not going to join us today again because he is in talks with one of our very important future possible customers, and we want them to be super focused on that demo here. But nevertheless, I'm going to be here, and we're going to answer all the agenda points. We're going to answer all your questions and queries. We're also going to see how we can do the split between the mentor assignment, the winner announcement, of course, but also the community builder stuff. So I want to make sure that you all know how to access the remote robotics lab, because even if you do have hardware, like for example, if you have a UGV Beast, but you want to try out the SO101 robotic arm, you should know how you can do that remotely from just our platform. So that's it. You should make some content on your career journey as well. Funny enough, I had a YouTube channel, and you can still see my baby face over there. I'm not gonna post the link, but I think you can find it. It's like very much out there. And then I stopped, but yeah, for sure someday. Okay, so let's start let's start this today. We're gonna start with questions first, and the reason why we're going to start with questions and feedback is there are 2 to 3 major checkpoints that we all can touch base with. Secondly, if any of you wants to again come on the stage and talk more about it, we can do that, or maybe I can also like invite some people. It's on you however you want it. If you want, I can also invite you over here. That also works for me. The other stuff is, let's quickly start and let's split this across with some particular touch points. So in the chat, let's start with the first touch point, which is, do you all have a physical AI agent idea? You can simply say yes or no. If you want to talk more about what is your agent idea, you can also do that. I see one yup from AMV. I think that's Aryan. Perfect. Okay, I see a lot of yes. But why am I asking this? Because even if you do not have a physical AI agent idea, and I'm guessing people who are not replying that don't, it's perfectly fine, because week 1 and week 2 are usually spent across onboarding, setting up hardware, thinking more about the physical AI agent stack, system architecture. So even if you're not there yet where you have like a very concrete idea ready as to what you will do with the hardware, it's perfectly all right. What really matters is that you still have time to curate the idea. But there is a particular progress check which all of you should just do within yourselves as well, which is, if you have a particular hardware and if you do not have an idea yet, go to the website, and if you're looking for some inspiration, I think it's probably this, not this, wait, yes, this one. I think I've shared it across previously as well. But what I'm trying to say is that this particular showcase over here has a lot of different projects that have already been built with Cyberwave. I'm going to update this one with the recent hackathon that we did as well. So there are 12 to 15 more projects that I'm going to add. What I'm trying to say is, do not copy the projects, because of course someone has already made them. But it's always fun to refer and see what others have built, and then actually just add your own creativity to it. So if you want to go to a cooking, if you want to build something in cooking, you can see what others have done before. Also a very important particular part in this is that there are also different robot projects. So you can also select and specify and also understand what others have built using that particular hardware. So that was my first point. Let's start with the second point, which is, if you have used Cyberwave or the Python SDK, let's start with all the questions that you have. Or if you do not have any questions, we can jump to the next point. But I want to make sure that we spend at least 5 to 10 minutes understanding your questions. If you do not have a question, it's fine, because whoever else is posting the question, you can also understand and get the answer to it and see if that works out for you, because in the future you're going to do that. So let's start with all your questions. I'm going to address a few which were already there on the Builder Spaceship channel. So the first one was that the SO101 is really compatible with the Python SDK that we have, which is over here. Here. But with the UGV, there has been like a bunch of different feedback items that we have received from you. So let's address that. The UGV is also quite compatible with the Python SDK. Let's actually try to break it down into more granularity. So the SO101 is a robot which is always related with manipulation, because you can only perform manipulation tasks with the SO101 ARM robot. What does that mean? That means that the SO101 is going to be fixed and it's going to be clamped at your desk, which means essentially it can only perform in a particular restricted range, and it can only perform a particular fixed set of motions with the different joints that it has. So it's always going to be performing a manipulation task. With the UGV, the problem is a little different, and I'm not going to say it's a problem, but I'm just going to quickly make you understand what I mean by that. With the UGV rover, it's a locomotive robot. What do we mean by that? It means that the UGV can also move across different environments. It can move across different waypoints. So of course there are a lot of different kinematics involved, like the speed, the velocity, the distance, and stuff. We cannot just say that move forward for 5 minutes. That's something that we can do with the SO101. We can say move joint to 1 to 30 degrees. So it's manipulation, it's straightforward. With the UGV, it's quite different. And that's why the STK methods are always going to be different and more advanced for the UGV than the Python SDK. A very simple thing that you can do for the UGV or for any twin is you can use a particular command which is basically called get commands, twin.get commands. I'm going to share it after the session here, and with that you can also get a list of all the commands that is applicable or useful for that particular twin. Okay, let's start with the questions. Having trouble connecting the robot was working fine, but now it connects and then disconnects, especially after calibrating the leader arm. Any solution? It's very weird. Martin, I'll need a few more answers. Are you using any edge device like a Raspberry Pi or a Nano? Are you using your laptop as the edge? Second, what do you see in the logs on the platform? And third, when you are connecting and when you have already calibrated, it should it should be connected on the platform. So does it say disconnected? Does it say calibrated, or what's the status of the arm there? Swami says there are many builders. Is there a waiting list for using the SO101 robot and silo? That's a very good question. Let's also talk about that in 5 more minutes, because I'm gonna quickly explain the remote robotic access list for everyone here. So let's start this in 10 minutes. I have about 15 components that I'm creating datasets for. Nice. With 30 recordings each and 1 minute per recording. Is the data set stored on your cloud or on my system? I think you can actually 450 minutes of recording. So for now, the recording is of course stored in our system, not on yours. So it is stored in our cloud. But I think that you can also optimize it and change it, to store it in your particular server. But I can also check base on this. So let me take a screenshot so that I can check with my team that is there any way or other way that you can use it. Okay, then there was another question regarding I think more probably how the mentors are going to be assigned and all of that. So let's also address this. If you have already registered your project in Builder cohort submissions, how it's going to work is we have already assigned mentors to some of the projects, but just before the meeting I saw that there were a lot more, and registration at the last minute, and of course we have to check and confirm with the mentors if they are fine on taking more projects before I randomly assign them. So even though I had the list ready with a few projects that were already registered, because there were some last minute registrations, I'm gonna have to take into account them as well. But what I did was I already sent the list to my team to check if they how they're gonna split that up. So after the session I'm gonna share a list of every project and the mentor assigned. Of course I'm gonna tag the mentor so that you can check with them. Now how the mentor setup is gonna work: you can reach out to your mentor with any issue or query that you are facing. You can give them feedback on the platform. You can ask them, of course, different type of ideas around the physical AI agent, and just like a comprehensive overview. Rest assured, please be mindful of the fact that these mentors are only volunteering and they might also be involved in some other full-time work, right? So if they're not available exactly at the moment that you reached out to them, just be mindful of the fact that they also are managing their own time, so they might take some time to get back to you, but of course they will. And in the meantime, if you have something very urgent, you can always tag me or Vittorio. So this is the mentor process. I'm going to take on more questions. Are mentors reachable on weekends? I am reachable on weekends. Vittorio is reachable on weekends, but with mentors, I think you can check with your mentor. If they feel like they're comfortable, then works for you and them. But if they're not, then I'm just gonna ask you to not do that. That's it. Everything seems fine. The Pi camera connects as well. It's only the robot that connects, and then 5 seconds later it disconnects. I'm using a laptop. Okay, Devesh, thanks for your real name. When do you say okay, so more question, right? Have you tried assigning a teleop, local teleop controller or a keyboard controller? If you're using a local teleop and if it's disconnecting, I'm thinking that's a motor discovery issue, because even if after the calibration it's happening, it can be that. And if you are teleoperating, then what happens to the, what happens to the like the leader arm or the follower arm. If after calibration you have assigned the teleop controller, they ideally should follow each other's journey. So if you set up the leader arm in a certain position and the follower arm is not in that particular position, then I think there might be an issue. Second question is that once you are doing this, are you able to see the sync between the robot, like the follower arm, and the digital twin on the platform? Because if that's not there, then it also might be another MQTT issue. Yes, Ashish, I actually sent you a workaround for this, which is how you can get a frame from a twins camera. So it's already there on Discord, but we're also trying out your approach. I think it was a UGV twin specific issue and not a SO101 issue, but I think it should have worked. Let me know if you tried that particular call. Yes, Dhatrik, you can register your project. It's absolutely fine. But facing issue with it, need if there. Ashish, did you try the new API as well? Because it worked for us. I was able to take the picture. So it's really weird if you aren't able to do it. We can also get on a call and understand more. I want to run SAM2 local in my laptop for real-time slip detection. If we call this in a loop, is it limited over the cloud transport? So Platypus, I'm gonna recommend you two things here. Yes, it is rate limited. If you want, yes, you can also set up a local Xeno data bus transport for this. The only thing is that we support Xeno, but it should be activated on both the ends. So also on your edge end, and then on our end it's already supported. So I think if you want to go through that, you can definitely do that. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm not sure why there is a port mismatch though. It's a new error that we have seen, because personally we use SO101 arms every day. So let me see if there is something from our end or it's just like a generic error. Okay, are there any more questions? Nevertheless, let's take more questions because it's already 10:20 and I want to be mindful of everyone's time here. So I'm gonna actually show you some. Wow, I'm gonna show you something here, which is like the demo, and I'm gonna start sharing my screen in exactly 5 minutes. This demo is basically about how you can access and control the robotic arms from anywhere around the world, but more from an angle of, because we already saw the demo in the first kickoff session. Today I want to show you, what is the exact process of going to the environment, how do you sign up for it, and how do you actually like wait in the queue list. Isn't it super cool? Okay, so I'm gonna take more questions after this. Let me share my screen and actually show you how this works. Are you able to see my screen? I need quick yes or no in the chat. Are you able to see my shared screen? Yes, okay, perfect. Let's start this. So for all the builders who want to try out and control the robotic arms deployed in Italy and Switzerland, but of course remotely, this is how it works. All the builders, we have enabled the special feature flag which is called the remote robotics lab for all the builders. We're going to deploy it after the session, like the feature flag. We're going to enable it for all of you. What that does is, for all the environments that you're going to create and for all the workspaces that you're going to create in Cyberwave, you're going to see this try a real robot CTA. It might not be coming out as of now because we haven't enabled the feature flag, because we wanted to give you the session first. But once we have enabled this feature flag, you will be able to see this particular button or CTA. Once you click on this, there is going to be a live queue system, which means if I'm the first one and I click on this, I am going to get access to the environment which is controlling the robotic arm deployed in the office for 10 minutes. Similarly, if I join third in the queue, then I'm going to have to wait for 20 minutes because there are two more people in front of me, and one person is already using it, right? So 3 more people, that means 3 into 10, 30 minutes I'll have to wait, and you'll be able to see the queue time here. Now how does it work again? So let's see this. I'm gonna see, if you see here, you can see 2 labs configured, 1 online, 1 offline. It also means that, so we have different labs configured, right? We have 1 in Italy, we have 2 in Italy actually, and then we have 1 in Zurich. So if some of it is online, you can also reach out to us on Discord and ask for more labs. We can check and see if there is one. Now of course, once you are in the environment and you are not waiting, you can see that there is the 9:38. This is basically the time limit that you will have the environment's access for, and then you can always end the lab session in case you are done early. Now I don't think I need this. I'm just going to quickly go to this. For your particular remote setup, we have deployed Agilex Piper arms, which are more stable than the SO101. For the remote setup, because it's a lot more smoother and it's a lot more easier for you to control. It's heavier and it's also like it's a very stable version. Now how can you control it again, and how can you build something with the arms there? So use the Python SDK, deploy your code, and then because all of it is already connected, so all you have to do is just change this particular twin ID from here. So go to this environment, go to the copy this particular twins UUID and change it, and this environment ID of course, and then change it in your Python code or the code that you have written with the Python SDK. Once you make the changes, and if you have tested it in simulation, you can also try it again with the real setup here. You do not have to do anything else. Everything else is already set up. You will be able to see the camera here, which is for you to see how the robot is of course operating, and then this is the sensor for the robot. Now there are other things, which is that you can also create more workflows with this. So that I'm going to show you here actually. Okay. Here we go. So this is the exact link that you can also try, but of course you'll only be able to try it once at a time, so it won't make sense for you to try it right now. But just to let you know what works and how it works, right? So if you're able to see, this is the Milan lab right now, which I can see here. This is the lab, this is the Agilex Piper, these are the cameras, yes, and I can see this one here, right? So if I'm gonna do this thing here, so this one might not work because it's the depth camera and we're not using that for now, but this is the Agilex Piper, this is the Milan lab. Now of course I want to control this, and I can also see, by the way, my team here. Now if of course I want to control this, this is the controller that I have over here. Make sure that whenever you are using and controlling the arm which is deployed in which you're using remotely, you always have the keyboard controller assigned, because even if you're using the Python SDK, you won't be able to test it without the keyboard controller. So I'm going to try this again. I think I've already shown this to you, but let me just show this. So I'm just moving the arm with the 1 key, then I'm going to press again 2 just to make sure that it's moving. Then I'm going to press 3 and 4. So this is 3, this is 4. Then I'm going to press again maybe 7, 8. I'm going to press 5 and 6. But this is just with the keyboard controller. You can do it with the Python SDK, which is going to be your ultimate physical AI agent, right? So this is how it works. This is exactly how it works. There is nothing different here. All you have to do is just go in. Once I give you access to, and once I enable the feature flag for all the builders, you can go in, you can join the queue, and then you can wait for your turn, and then you can test your agent code in 10 minutes. Now there are also use cases where you need a specific object like a cube or something specific, because your agent is a little different. Reach out to me, and I'll gonna coordinate you, to have a call with the team who is there, and they can set up everything for you. Okay, that's pretty much it. So first I'm going to take questions on the remote robotic lab setup if there are, and then I'm going to take all the questions that you've already sent me. Hey Khushi, I think UGV isn't compatible with Mojoko as of now. Playground is the only option, or can I use offline Mojoko sim as well? Deepak, it should be compatible, but I'll check with this with the team. I'm not very sure because I haven't used UGV with Mojoko myself. I've only used it ever in Playground. If the follower, okay, this is maybe another conversation. I have a collaboration issue. I can't share my environment by adding their email. That is very okay. 2 to 3 questions. Have they signed up with maybe like a different email, like a business email or something? Second, when I share the editor or developer link, it is just a blank Mojoko screen with no other website element visible. Mr. Rocks, can you share me the screenshot perhaps in Builder Spaceship, because this is very new for us, because we work on the same environment all the time, so this might be something that we are not aware of, and then we'll have to solve it ASAP. No, Deepak, we do not provide any LLM API keys. You can use any LLM API that you want, so we're open to do that. Got it. Mr. Rocks, I'm going to suggest you to just send me a screenshot. Sure, and then I'm going to fix this for you, but also I'm going to try just so that we have this, and I'm going to take a screenshot again of this. Okay, are there any other questions in the remote robotic lab? How can I invite you people to just come on the stage? I don't know. Should I open in mod view, and then what do I do to invite you? So this might be a different question. I just want to figure out a way that I can also invite you on the stage. Yeah, okay. Final demo to be done on Piper or SO101. If you're a community builder, and if you it's actually your choice, because we can also deploy one for you with the SO101 or the Piper. The Piper one is more stable, so I think you can do it with Piper as well, or the SO101, whatever you like best. Explain the process for deployment of model to robotic lab. I didn't understand the question. Which model are you talking about? A custom fine-tuned model that you want to train and fine-tune on yourself? Do you want to record a data set, and then do you want to deploy a custom fine-tuned policy, or are you talking about something which is pre-trained, open source, something like that? Okay, so for a custom fine-tuned model, recording a data set might be a little difficult, but we can figure out a way. We can ask the team to record a few episodes and maybe understand how you can do it. If you have a pre-trained or if you have a custom data set, then you can directly upload it and you can fine tune it directly and deploy it within the environment itself. It's very simple. I think I already showed this to you last time, but if you want to see again, I'm just quickly going to share my screen. uh, so if I go to the platform, if I go to any particular environment over here, maybe this one, and if I go to data, then in the data set you can create the data set, manage the data set, right? If you go to AI and then you go to fine tune the VLM model, but more like training, so I can start the new training with like within the workspace by of course like selecting the data set and selecting the model as well. Once you train this, then you can also deploy this particular training to that particular twin, so it will work. And while I am here, I'm also going to show you, by the way, so if I see try a real robot here, right? Okay, this is my lab session, this is the time limit that I have. If I go back to the dashboard, I can see here that I have 10 minutes remaining. This is the queue number, and I can enter it or I can end it from here. And of course, if I am not using it and there is someone else, that they can see that how many what is the wait time and what is their queue number. So this is how it works. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing. Hey Kushi, when do you expect the batteries for the gym? Doesn't fit well. Kosi, I'm gonna ask your help on this because the batteries are expected to be delivered by July 31st, which is quite late. If you can figure out a way to get the batteries on your own, we can reimburse you for the batteries. So I think that would be the most efficient solution for you, because the batteries are going to be delivered by July 31st, which is like very late, but that was the only possible solution for us in your geography. Really sorry. I was about to send you an email on this, but I was just waiting for the logistics team to confirm me on the delivery date. It I mean, swag is of course important. It has a robot mat and multiple like stickers and stuff for you, but I think it must be on the way, so don't worry, it will be there. Okay, more questions, everyone. If there are no more questions, then I'm gonna just go to the winner announcement because that's my favorite. Oh, my YouTube stream is frozen. I'm gonna. What happened? Uh, okay. Okay. If I stop it, then it's gonna stop the streaming and I'll have to start a new one. Okay.